Hey there, and welcome back to Plays Well with Butter. I'm Jess Larson, and today we're making one of my favorite foods in the entire world, mochiko chicken. This deliciously crispy and golden chicken is Hawaii's contribution to the diverse global fried chicken scene. Like many of modern-day Hawaii's iconic dishes, it reflects the strong influence of Japanese culture and cuisine in Hawaii with its key ingredient mochiko flour, a glutinous Japanese sweet rice flour that gives the chicken its signature crispy and bouncy texture. You'll batter the chicken in a simple mix of mochiko flour, cornstarch, sugar, eggs, shoyu, and seasonings like ground garlic, ginger, and onion. Let it rest overnight for the mochiko to work its magic, then fry a few minutes per side till it's perfectly golden brown. We finish our mochiko chicken with loads of furikake and a drizzle of gochujang aioli, a nod to Chef Sheldon Simeon, whose tin roof mochiko chicken is one of our all-time favorite versions. You'll love that this recipe uses simple ingredients but creates an extraordinary result. The chicken is juicy, so crispy, and has amazing bouncy texture thanks to that mochiko. It's 100% Hawaii-style deliciousness. You're gonna be obsessed. While I'm the first to admit that frying chicken at home can feel like a bit of an undertaking, I promise you that this mochiko fried chicken recipe is truly easy to make. The only prep required is whisking up the mochiko batter, which is made with 10 pantry staple ingredients. You'll whisk together a little cornstarch, sugar, salt, and seasonings like ground ginger, garlic, and onion powder with mochiko flour. Mochiko flour is a Japanese rice flour made of finely ground, glutinous sweet rice. It's not naturally sweet and it doesn't contain any gluten. Rather, its sticky texture is ideal for creating foods with a uniquely bouncy and chewy texture. Its most famous application is mochi, the sticky, chewy Japanese confection, but it's also the star ingredient of mochiko chicken. You'll whisk in a few eggs and a little shoyu for depth, then mix until it comes together as a thick, stretchy batter. At this point, you'll fold in the chicken. Mochiko chicken is traditionally prepared with chicken thighs, and my family always dices deboned, skin-on chicken thighs into perfect bite-sized pieces. Once the chicken's coated in batter, cover it and let it rest in the fridge overnight. About 30 minutes before you'd like to begin frying, pull the battered chicken from the fridge and let it rest at room temperature while the oil preheats. Pour enough oil into a heavy bottom pot to create a 1-inch pool, then bring it up to about 350 to 375 degrees. Once the oil's hot, work in batches to fry the chicken. Shake off any excess marinade, then carefully drop the battered chicken into the oil. You'll want to fry the chicken about 4 to 5 minutes, gently stir it as it cooks, and give it a little flip about halfway through. Once the chicken is golden, crisp, and has reached an internal temperature of 165 degrees, transfer it to a paper towel-lined baking sheet to drain. While the chicken's still hot, we like to sprinkle it with a little furikake, a Japanese rice seasoning that has amazing salty umami flavor. You'll repeat the process until all the chicken is fried. It usually takes 3 to 4 batches. You can serve your mochiko chicken however you like. We always plate it up over rice or noodles with extra furikake. As a nod to Chef Sheldon Simeon, who serves one of my favorite versions of mochiko chicken at his Maui restaurant Tin Roof, I like to top the chicken with a drizzling of gochujang aioli, which is a simple mix of mayo, Korean chili paste, and garlic. This chicken is so light and crispy, it's almost like Japanese tempura, but with a little more body thanks to that mochiko flour. It makes the batter bounce back a little bit when you take a bite, which is so satisfying. Pairing it with the salty furikake and a little kick of funky heat from that gochujang aioli takes it over the top. It is so good. So head over to Plays Well with Butter for the full recipe, which includes a lot more of the backstory of this iconic dish and so many tips and tricks to help you make it successfully at home. But before you go, be sure to like and subscribe for more unfussy recipes that pack a big punch of flavor, and I'll see you next time.